Okay, so I've got, try not to put that into my coffee cup. I'm going to use a not fairly large brush, and I'm going to wet my paper. I suppose it will be the horizon is very close to the top. That's where it's cascading down from. So I am doing a line up there and almost down to the bottom. Plenty of water. I hope you've got your cotton t-shirt paper. Let it soak in a bit. It needs a good sheen on it because we do need the water. So it's a sort of a square with a bit at the top. I'm going to start at this end. I'm going to start with burnt sienna. I'm going to lift the paper up and just put it on there, and I'm just helping it a little bit come down. Clean water. And put plenty of water on, and it will come down. I'm just helping it come down. So I've got that. I'm going to put a little bit more paint at the top there because it's now gone white. So I'm just put some paint at the top so that it colours in that white bit. And I'm going to have some turquoise. So help that down. So just touching it down as I go down the page, and it will just disperse out. And then back in with some more of the burnt sienna. I've got the background in. And I'm going to do the cascade bit. So it's clean water on your brush. Choose where you're going to go. I'm going to have mine just here. So it's clean water, and I'm just brushing the paper to get it to start to move. And you can see I've got a white bit at the top there. And I'm just coming down. So a little bit more water. Basically, we're just washing off the paint that we've put on. So we don't want, there's no line at the top there because that's where the water is coming down. Just using water, and I'm just pulling or lifting the paint away. And now I'm going to lay it down carefully. I've got a lot of water at the bottom here. And the paint, although I've lifted it, the paint is now seeping back in, which is good. Which is what we want. apart from in the very middle. So I'm just taking a thirsty brush, and then between each stroke, I'm wiping it. So I'm lifting a little bit more paint out. I'm not doing long joined up lines either. I'm doing broken lines. And a little bit of a line down there, and a line down there. So it's already got the idea that it's falling water. The paint will start to come back on some of these because it's not dry, still seeping. So I've just gone round there and I've left a little bit of colour in the middle. So that will look like it's going over a rock. Try not to do too much, otherwise the colour that you had in the background will just disappear. I'm just going to make sure that there's no colour there because I want that to be. So I think that's it for my background colour. I'm just going to make a little bit of extra rock just here. You can put a little bit of pigment in, it will still diffuse so that it looks like a bit of texture. But mostly we're relying on the streaks it made, or the runs it made when we first started. We're now going to leave that a little bit. I've got a little bit of very light blue here, only very light. I'm going to use my rigger and I'm just going to do some little blue lines the way the water is flowing. Don't do them all the same length. Don't do too many of them. Now I'm only going down so far because I think I'm going to put in a line here and my rocks. So that's all I'm going to do there. And at the top there, I'm going to make it look, I don't think you'll be able to see, as if it's water coming over the top. So I'm just curving it in. Oh, excuse me. So I've marked up where my waterline is going to be. I'm going to use my rule because I'm useless. Taking my rigger, clean water, dab it off, and I'm going to pull my rigger across. And it's going to need to be done several times. So clean water, dab off, clean water, dab off. I don't know whether it's working or not. Clean water. Yeah. Now I'm just going to, I can see where my line is now. I'm just going to agitate it a bit. Get a tissue and just gently pull to one side. Really, the rocks will all be here, so it's not vitally necessary that you can see it. Just here though needs to be seen to be, there we are. Right, can you see that? I've got a line across now with my rocks, with my waterline. Rocks, any colour you want, bluey, reddy, depends really on, and a little bit of turquoise in there as well if you've used turquoise, because the rocks will be the same colour as the cliff face. And I'm going to start here, making sure I keep them horizontal with the water. So that they're on the same level as each other. I'm just putting in some freehand rocks, not really being too fussed about what they look like. And lift a bit of water, lift a bit of paint off of the top of each, because there'll be a bit of sunlight in there. So using a clean but damp brush, just taking a bit off of the top of each rock there, rounding it off. And then if you've got a hard line, blending it in. You can be quite creative with rocks at this point. You can have had a lock fall down. I just put a little bit of turquoise in that one to reflect the fact that we've got turquoise on the cliff face. And again, just lift off. Dab, lift off. And now we need to do the same as we did before. And it's dried, so you're going to have to agitate a bit in a horizontal line, just to show water. Yeah, I'm just brushing it with my tissue because it's dried. Agitate it quite a bit. And using a clean bit of tissue each time. Just wipe it away, not hard though. It's almost a flick. If yours is coming away without agitating it too much, that's fine. You don't need to use tissue. Mine's dried, so I am now stuck with doing this. We need a little bit of mist in here, so I am a clean but damp brush. I'm just agitating where the paint is at the bottom of the fall. Clean brush again. So I'm moving some of that paint. I get the tissue and just dab up. that gives the idea that there's mist at the bottom. It's falling down so much there's mist. I just redo that one a bit. Got caught in there. And where have we got to now? I think that's about it, really. I'm going to do a little bird. Use some dark blue. And he's about here. He's going to look at the water. And I think I might leave it at that.